The Bear Whisper. Once upon a time in a small village in India, there lived two friends named John and Peter. They were both around 15 years old and were known to be inseparable. They grew up together, went to the same school, and had many shared interests. The villagers often referred to them as two peas in a pod. One day, John and Peter decided to go to a nearby village as there was a fair. Let's go to Sonpur and enjoy the fair, said Peter. Okay, John replied. They left early in the morning the next day. They had taken some lunch with them. The route was full of greenery, and there were birds and some other animals here and there in the forest. As they were walking, they saw a figure of an animal coming from far. God! What can it be? Said John. I have no idea, said Peter. They started to walk faster, but it was the middle of the forest, and the animal was coming speedily as well. It's a bear, said Peter. What do we do now? Asked John. I think we should climb up the tree and hide there, said Peter. John thought for a while and said, But I cannot climb up trees. Peter said, First, I climb up the tree and you support me from on the ground, pushing me upwards. Then, I will stretch my hand for you. You can grab my hand and come up as well. John agreed to this and supported Peter. John stood on the ground pushing Peter upwards. After Peter had climbed up, John asked, Now, stretch your hand and I will be with you. The bear must be around by now. Peter did not move a bit. Hey Peter, can't you hear? Stretch your hand and I will be there. We do not have much time, said John. Peter sat there without any concern and just replied, If I stretch my hand, there is a possibility that I might fall as well because of your weight. You should have learned how to climb up a tree. Now, John was shocked to hear this. But he knew that this was no time for being angry or repenting anything. He knew that he could never run faster than the bear. So, he focused on the situation and suddenly remembered something. Once his mother had told him that bears do not attack or eat dead. They prefer to hunt living animals. Now, he had an idea. He quickly laid down and waited for the bear. He was careful not to move or breathe. What's he doing? Murmured Peter from above the branches. But he did not bother much. The bear approached there and came close to John. It was a black, muscular and fierce bear. Luckily, it did not seem to be hungry. He sniffed John lying there. He circled around John for a couple of times. Peter was watching all this. John said to himself, "If I move a bit, I am dead." After a while, the bear left in the opposite direction from where he came. Some time passed and John slowly opened his eyes. He checked around without moving his head. When he was sure that the bear had gone, he got up and sighed in relief. Peter also started to climb down the tree. In a minute, Peter was also there beside John. Peter said nothing and so did John. For a while they just kept walking. Then Peter asked, "I saw the bear coming close to your ear. Surely it said something into your ear. What was it?" John replied without any emotion. "The bear said that it is better to be alone than to be in the company of fake and selfish friends." Peter tried to say something, but he did not find any words. John spoke, "From now on, you and I are just strangers. Today was the last day for our friendship." Speaking this, John walked ahead. Moral of the story: better to be alone than to be with selfish people.